Hi, Half Centenarians. Guess what? We about to get a word. Not just any word. The word. So I want you to sit back. We're gonna talk to Kendra Wilson Hudson, but she is a reverend. Hey, don't turn that off. You're gonna get a word today. I'm a usher. Welcome, Half Centenarians. We are in this lovely home. Oh my gosh. And we might just stay because she has left the door open. How about that? We're going to talk to Kendra Wilson Hudson. And she is such a wonderful spirit. She is an edifier. She is a strong believer. But before I steal her thunder, I want her to introduce herself to you guys, and then we will continue with the wonderful conversation we've already started.
Well, hello. I am Kendra Wilson Hudson. I'm just a simple person from a simple place, a small town called Sylacauga, Alabama. Oh, wow. I grew up right outside of Birmingham. A lot of people don't know about it. And I, of course, lived there, grew up to the age of 18. And at that time, I joined the military, joined the United States Marine Corps.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But before going in the Marine Corps, I was rooted and grounded there in Sylacauga, Alabama by my parents, grandparents, had wonderful church family there. Really enjoyed my time at home and took a lot away from home with me, and it's always stayed with me. No matter where I've gone in life. Joined the Marine Corps, stayed in the Marine Corps 14 years. The Marine Corps allowed me to do travels near and far, going abroad for the first time, a young woman going to Japan. And fortunately being stationed on an air station, and I was able to travel to different countries just because of where I was stationed. Yeah, so nice. I had the opportunity to see, really see different places, see different cultures. And that experience has taken me far, I feel, in life.
I'm sure.
Coming back to the States from there. Stayed in the military 14 years before I retired and started working with the government. So, life has been good. Life has been good.
Thank you for your service, too. Oh. Thank you for your service.
You are welcome. Yes. If I had it to do all over again, I would.
You mentioned that because it's like, a lot of people look at military as something that we don't understand if we've never been in it, first of all. And then secondly, we think about it as, somebody, you're obliged to do it. That's a choice.
Yes.
In peacetime, it's a choice.
Yes.
So thank you so much for choosing to do that and supporting the liberties that we all benefit from,
The one thing that I note about military, people joining the military, is like signing a blank check with your life. You don't know what each day will bring. You don't know what you will wake up to tomorrow. When you take that oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, noting we've seen a lot of domestic issues happening right here in the United States.
Right.
You never know what your day will bring you being a part of the military.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I echo that sentiment. And I just wanted to say, that kind of gives us a really good foundation about, who you are, because it talks to us about, your virtues and your values and what you bring from your home and your family.
Yeah.
And we'll probably hear a little bit more about that. What did you carry with you? But because of what you said about the military and the choices that you made have brought you to this place where you are here in Texas.
Yes.
Second question, primary question we always ask is, so what is your purpose? What do you think you were put here to do and support the people around you, both near and far?
Well, I understand your question, and I will say that leading into that, my purpose is driven and given by God. I have a God-given purpose, and my purpose is people. My purpose is to help his people, to be the intercessor, to support, to edify, uplift people when they're down. There's been times when I've had to even speak over my own self, to lift myself up when my spirits were down. So my purpose is God-given and God-driven. We don't know what a person's life may entail. We don't know what may go on from day to day. Right. But the thing is, a simple smile, just to say hello. You don't know how that one thing could change a person's life.
That's so true.
And so, I make it a point. A lot of people say, oh, here she comes with that welcoming committee. I speak to everybody. It does, and that may be a part of my upbringing, but I speak to everybody. You never know, a simple hello could save a person's life.
That's true. That's true. And you know what I find today? As a matter of fact, it was just this morning when I was walking, people will walk right by you and not even look at you anymore. And it is just simple hospitality. And I don't know if it is because raised in the South, coming from the South, you're like, you walk in a room. Hello. You walk past someone, just a gentle hi. Even with a mask on, I can see the friendliness in your eyes.
Absolutely.
So it makes a big difference. So what you're saying, I can say, you know what, that makes a big difference in how people see you. Your countenance says it all.
Yes.
So when you don't speak, I see that. When you do speak, I feel that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
It's really important for us to always, everybody, we need to remember that. Be nice to people. You don't know what they're going through. So I want to tell you, you were spot on with that. You don't know what people are going through. And that was something you talked about earlier, part of your purpose. And you don't know what people are going through. And recently you had the opportunity one of the many opportunities you've had to help people. So talk us through part of your purpose being people, and how do you support that?
Well, I can say this. If it means going under the bridge and feeding people under the bridge and talking to them about the love of God, I do that.
Yeah.
If it means being at a community center or at a nursing home, talking to the residents and singing to the residents, reading the word, reading whatever to the residents, just talking to them, I do that.
Right.
But most recently, I would say in my community, I'm always throughout my community helping people wherever I can, whether friends or people that I don't even know. In February, we had this freeze here in Texas. That was an awful experience for a lot of people.
Right.
But I noticed that even on Facebook then, social media, Twitter, people were saying, where are we going to go for food? What are we going to do? And I was saying, well, we have gas stoves. Why not cook?
Right.
The electricity is off. Let me just take the food that I have here and see if I can come up with a soup. So I pulled out the biggest stock pot that I had, biggest stock pot, and did what I knew to do, cook some food and show some love.
Right.
So after I cooked the soup and everything, I put it together in bowls, containers, and I just walked around on ice. The very first container that I took to a neighbor, didn't expect this to happen, but I was on the phone with her, had my earbuds in, stepped on the ice, and all I could do is think of Susie Chapstick. I put my legs together and I slid to the end of the driveway with this soup container in hand. I mean, piping hot soup.
Yeah.
That could have been an awful situation. But, God blessed me to get down there, and I walked on over to the neighbors, and I delivered soup to about 12 houses.
But that's part of what your service is. So your service is helping others and praying. What are some of the ways that you're going to do that? What are some of the platforms you're going to be using? Because we want to share that so people can kind of get that intercessory prayer if they need it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So currently I serve with another group called Women of the Word, and I do speaking, and we pray there. I'm also an intercessor at my church, and I pray there. But I have my own ideas. I have things that God has planted in me that I want to impart to the world, and I want to do. So a few years ago, I started a blog called Ponder This. And in Ponder This, I bring up scenarios and try to give people a different way of looking at and reacting to different scenarios.
All right, give me an example.
For example, I remember this when I said, you're being sifted and not shifted. Okay? Because we know that the devil wants to sift us as wheat.
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing is, if we allow him to get into our lives and get into our heads, we can end up in really bad places. But the thing is, if we just sit and take a moment and we think about what's going on, what's happening, how we react, we shift the situation. So instead of being sifted, let's shift.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things I talked about on my blog. Instead of being
So
sick,
when you
to be
talk about
shifted.
in your blog, it's just informational?
It's an informational
Okay.
format.
Okay.
Yes, and it's an informational platform.
Okay.
But what we're getting ready to do and
There
where
you-
we're going to, my very first sermon was titled, It Had to Happen This Way. And I believe that God gave me that sermon because of the many things that I had gone through. But I stood throughout every trial. I stood throughout every test.
Right.
A lot of times people will let grief or let the trials of life just wear them down. God didn't build me that way. God allowed me to see the situations that I had to go through, but allowed me to still stand firm and stand
right.
strong, stand tall, and be able to help others
There you
go through those situations as well. The biggest thing for me was I lost my brother in 2013. He was murdered. He was an active duty soldier. And I just couldn't understand, why would this happen? But God had brought me to Alabama. I had lived in New Orleans for 17 years. Me and my husband had separated. I went back home because I needed to feel that love and
There you go.
support that I had when I first left home. I needed that to get me back into a space where I could help other people.
Come on. The temple of my familiar. See that? Got it. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Because that's a common thread that's been running through a lot of this stuff. People have to go back to what they feel comfortable in. So
I had to.
had to stop. So when you are looking at all of this now and everything that you've been through, because we're all a culmination of our experiences, well, how are you now in your half centenarian life, living your best life?
I feel that I'm living my best life each and every day when I get up. When I can actually just open my eyes and see that I'm still here.
Right.
Through it all, I'm still here. That in itself is a great thing.
That's right.
But how I live my best life is I live a life in peace. I have serenity. God has blessed me to be able to feel his presence
on.
more. In feeling God and knowing God,
Yes.
the way that I do now, I look, again, that retrospect, I look back, I see where I've come from to where I am now. I remember when I used to be frazzled. I remember when I used to be flapping all over the place. That's what one of my old bosses used to say, y'all just flapping. I remember when I used to be flapping all over the place and didn't know where I
Right.
should be or what I should be doing. But God has allowed me to settle down and hear him more clearly. Yes.
And as long as you're walking in that, it seems like that's where your peace and serenity can come from.
Yes.
And I'm saying this because there's someone out here who, listening, watching, they might have that same little part to play. That part, that sliver of God's pie that you have to extending yourself, listening, being obedient to the word. And that is always important because when you're out of the wheel,
Yes.
you're flapping.
Yes, you're flapping.
But when you're in it, you live your best life because you are now at peace. There's serenity because I've done the part that he had me to do up to that moment. So now he's got you in place to do the next thing that he has you to do.
Right.
So the last thing I want to ask you is, what is it that you could tell someone that is, half centenarian or is about to be that, about life right now? How are you feeling about life where you are today as a half centenarian?
As a half centenarian, who would have thunk it?
Right?
Who would have thunk it? This is a time where we should be appreciative.
Absolutely.
A time that we should reflect on where we have been and where we're going.
Yeah.
We don't know how long we have left on this earth.
That's right.
But at this time, wherever we are and whatever we're going to, we should be living our best life. We should be doing the best that we can, not for ourselves, but for whoever we can.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
Everything with you is going to come. Because the word says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his
all
righteousness.
These
And all these things will be added unto you.
Come on.
When I got to that point where I was seeking God and his righteousness, things were added.
Yeah.
Those things like joy, those things like love, those things like peace. Those are the things that were added to my life. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. Because you can have all the money in the world and still don't have any happiness.
That's right.
None whatsoever.
That's right. But doesn't he say, too, to add to that before we close out. He said he will add money, add things, but add no sorrow with it.
With no sorrow with it. No sorrow with it. And I can tell you, even with the things that I've gone through in life, there's been some really hard times, not just the issue with my brother. There's been some hard times that I've gone through. But you know what? I can't look back and say I'm sorrowful for none of it.
Right.
For none of it.
Made you who you are.
Right. Like I said, my sermon title was, It Had to Happen This Way.
Right. That's true.
And in that, God birthed in me a new platform, and I'm going to be opening up with a podcast in June called He Made Me a Diamond. And I talked about the Hope Diamond and how it was formed. Diamonds are formed with intense pressure. They go through a lot. The overriding rocks go over the top, the bottom, and they press on the diamond in order to lift it to the top. And I believe that God made me a diamond because I've gone through some intense pressures. I've gone through some hard trials and I've gone through some struggles. And even in that, I still have risen to the top.
Yes.
And God has allowed me to still sit here and be this half centenarian. Okay? And I'm still able to continue on and be okay.
And birth some new things.
Yes, and birthing new things.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to June and what it has to bring as we go forward with this podcast. He made me a diamond.
Well, I hope that you share that with us. We want to share it with everyone because it's going to help people. There are people out there who went through a lot over this last year.
Yes.
That are now trying to figure it out, you know, and you have intense pressure. You might have that, but you know what? That is shifting, not sifting. And you just want to use all of that to your benefit. Man, I tell you, it's been really fun talking to you to this day because you guys missed the very best part, but I'm getting ready to give you some of it. Hold on. So in closing, I want you to tell us a little bit more about yourself, but it's going to be in this capacity. I'm going to call out 2 items. It's your Jeopardy.
Okay.
You tell me which one suits you. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. We have any music? I'm kidding. Boots and cats. Boots. Okay, here we go. Email or text?
Text.
Flowers or gift card?
Flowers.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early riser or night owl?
Early riser.
Blues or jazz?
Jazz.
Married or single?
Single. Today.
All right. Netflix or Lifetime?
Netflix.
Outside or inside?
Outside.
Read or write?
Read and write.
And she's cheating. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Absolutely. I saw that handsome devil over there.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing your life, your impact. And I know you're going to have a far-reaching impact on people when you have your podcast and you have your blog. We have all of your information on the screen so that people can get in touch with you.
Yes.
Such an intercessor.
Thank you
Such a great,
so much.
beautiful person.
Oh, God bless you.
Half Centenarians, check her out. Miss Kendra, Reverend Wilson, Hudson.
Yes.
We are going to be hearing from you. Big things coming. Big things coming.
To God be the glory.
Yes,
we're looking forward to it.
So yes, we do. And I will be right there with you. I want to get some of that word and I'm going to become a diamond. Rising to the top. Yes. Thank you, Half Centenarians. Be safe, be careful, and we will see you soon. Hi, guys. I hope you loved and enjoyed and liked and shared that video. So many great people that we've had the opportunity to meet. Houston, Texas. Man, y'all know it's hot here. It's hot. But so are the people that we're showing you. So please like us and subscribe on YouTube. And don't forget, 3 names of people, it could be you, that have inspired you and motivated you, doing their best thing, living their best lives as a half centenarian. Thank you so much for following us on this journey. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care, be careful, and I will see you guys soon.